Hi, my name is Faye. This is me. This is my best friends. This is my children. Now I'm a student of Coventry University, and my subject is communication, culture, and media. But I used to be a primary school teacher, as you see. During these 4 years experience of teaching, I became a tender and soft woman. Maybe just a teacher. As long as after work, my personality will become irritable. Anyway, I loved my children and missed them so much. When I arranged my proposal of media research, firstly, I think about my own experience. My students, their age between 3 and 7 years old. It is an innocent and naive age, but some behaviors words broken my heart and shocked me. For example, some children will hurt others using toys or chairs. It would have many reasons, but I think media violence is an introductory reason because children lack of experience and they are vulnerable. In addition, the characteristic of age, children imitate action, what they say. Sometimes there are difficulty to distinguish between reality and fantasy. So I selected this topic. How do people make sense of the idea of media violence as an influence for children in China? China has an organization, SAFT, it a supervisory department, the State Administration of Radio, Film and Television, whereas children still will watch some programs that don't suit for them. In some degree, theft doesn't a good way to monitor media. Unfortunately, many people aren't aware of seriousness of this problem. Most of audience, even some parents, who are not only lack of sensitivity of media violence, also not mention it is negative guide for children. Nowadays, there are a variety of media forms, and many of them have high level of violent content. For example, TV programs. As mentioned by Lamish, that television was used differently from other media because children didn't have independent access to the printed media. They couldn't read and understand the content. Moreover, violence on TV is easily understood regardless of cultural bias and language. For instance, a recently news reported 2 9 years old Chinese boys. They burned their playmate. Actually, they wanted to play a game with friends named Roast Sheep. So they tied their partner on a tree, then satellite dry grass and leaves. They just imitate a plot of a cartoon named Xi Yang. In the first essay, I began with the process of collecting data. As a method of collecting data, I have chosen focus group. As Greenbaum claimed that focus group is a good research methodology which can offer some worthwhile information and in-depth understanding in very many situations. So the technicals is frequently used improperly in situations. In my point, this way can gain data quickly, directly, and much more. Basically, collecting useful information, it is based on effectively key questions and appropriate informants. In my case, that selected 4 different identities. There are a primary school teacher, a mother of a 7 years old child, a master of media student, and a media worker. All of them are Chinese. According to Not Brown, explains that asking questions and getting answers is a more difficult assessment than it may seem at first. The written or spoken words has always residue and ambiguity. However, interviewing is one of the most common and powerful approach. In my case, I reported and quoted the answers carefully and made transcriptions of it. All of the interviews are anonymous, and I gave them to send informed consent before start the group interview. I prepared a relaxed space and 10 open questions, and it was divided into two parts. The first part is about the feeling of participants when they watch the programs with violence. Did they think about it, whether it influenced children? Secondly, the questions focus on why children are either impacted by television violence and analyze the reasons and factors. I did a short interviewing of children also, their age from 4 to 6. How do they make sense of the idea of media violence? Let us listen to their answer.
看到过。那在什么节目里面看到过呀？小魔仙在法律进行时穿古代人的那个衣服，是《西游记》里。他们是真的，不是，他们是装死的，因为他们是演员，不是，因为他们在拍戏的，是假的。害怕，还有紧张。我觉得我想哭，我很痛苦，很孤单，而且我会有点累，哭，又伤心又害怕。我都是好人，不会打架的，如果打架就送回警察局去了。啊？不会。为什么呀？因为我们都是好孩子，因为我们要打人，大家都不会喜欢我们。不会。为什么呀？因为打人人就不喜欢你了。为什么呀？我打人了，人们就不会喜欢我了。
And the second essay mainly focused on analyzing the date, because conversation analysis and discourse analysis are two methods of analysis called collect date. Both of them have their feature and background. As Nana insists that conversation analysts tend to describe and explain the ways in which conversations work. For example, Have says that people talking together. Conservation is one of the most general of all topics. It can mean that people are talking with each other just for the aim of talking, as a form of sociability, or it can be used to indicate any activity of interactive talk, independent of its purpose. The interpretation conversation analysis can be applied in wider and more restricted senses. Discourse analysis, it seems like that language is put together, constructed, for purpose and to gain consequence. We can think of a continued form more interpersonal function, for example, explaining, planning, and so on, which define the local discursive context to the wider object discourse may serve where. It tends to research concerning lived experience, emotions, social moments, personal life, and the interaction between nations. You wish to count thyself yourself as active reflex in the process of date generation rather than as a neutral date collector, and you are going to analyze your role within this process. Actually, every research wave has bias or tendency because the researchers themselves, their life experience or structures of knowledge guide it. However, it is inevitable. How to improve research? It needs investigator by continuous reflection and prepare more and more information and knowledge for research. My dissertation will be more focused on the influence of cartoons, and the temporary title is How Do People Understand the Influence of Cartoon on Young People in China? In this dissertation, it will discuss some popular cartoons of China, its character and story, and analyze some examples to express my topic. Anyway, we all hope children can own an innocent and happiness childhood. As adults, we have responsibility to create a cozy and wonderful environment for them.